Good good evening. Excuse me. My voice didn't come out there. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How is everybody doing today? Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to everyone. It is Thursday evening here in Tokyo. It is 10:45. Very happy to see all of you today. We've already got some comments. Supergirl, hi. XYZ, hello. XYZ with another comment. Excited to start. Yes, me too. Me too. The last live I did was last Saturday. So it has been a while since I've done a live lesson. It is tax season here in Japan. So I was really busy trying to finish all of my taxes and all that fun stuff. But I'm done. I'm back, and I'm excited to do a lesson with all of you today. Today, as you can see from the lesson title, we will be doing conditional sentences. More specifically, we will be doing conditional to sentences. Usually with conditional sentences, we have 4 different types, 0, 1, 2, and 3. And today we will do number 2. So conditional number 2. As always, I will put the lesson on to the screen so everybody can see. Let's do that now. Actually, my internet is a little bit slow today. I think looks like I only got 1 bar, but hopefully it is okay. Jero, hey, how are you today? How are you? How are things for you? How's the East Coast, Jero? Are you enjoying? Is it getting warmer? Or is it still really cold over there? All right, so I'm going to put the lesson onto the screen right now so you can see. Like I said, we're going to be doing conditional to sentences today, conditional to sentences. And while we wait for people to join, I do have one slang phrase here. This is a really good phrase as well. It says, back to square one, back to square one. I like this one. I think it's quite a very useful phrase. You can see we have an example sentence. It says, let's see if we can modify the plan without going all the way back to square one. Jero, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thanks. Yeah, not bad. I'm actually happy. My taxes are done. I did coach some basketball tonight, so my legs are a little bit tired, but yeah, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. So the very first slang word here, back to square one. It said, let's see if we can modify the plan. Let's see if we can modify the plan. That means let's see if we can change or adapt, change the plan without going all the way back to square one. All right, so in this situation, back to square one, what this means, it means to the beginning, right? And it means to start from the beginning, to start from the beginning. So if you go back to square one, that means you are starting from the beginning. So here, the person wants to change the plan. They don't want to go all the way back to square one. All right, so this is a really useful phrase, back to square one. It means that you go back to the very beginning. You start over. But sometimes you don't want to start over. So in this situation, they don't want to. Let's see if we can change the plan without going all the way back to square one. All right, so that's a really useful phrase, back to square one. So let's look at the grammar now. Today, we will be focusing on conditional to. We have done a lesson previously. We did conditional one lessons, and that is going to be different. A conditional one lesson, conditional one sentence, we are using the present tense. But with conditional two, we will be using the past tense. And we'll be using would as well. So let's look at the grammar all the way down here. And so conditional two sentences. First of all, why do we use a conditional two sentence? All right, so basically right here, we're going to use the second conditional whenever we are talking about a not true or unlikely situation. That means there is a very, very, very small chance that this can happen, or it's completely impossible, which means it's not true. Now, before we look at the example, let's look at how do we make this sentence? How do we make a conditional two sentence? So we're going to be using this pattern right here. We start with our subject. We are going to be using the past tense verb. Do not use present tense. Do not use future. It's going to be the past tense verb. Then we have our comma. Don't forget the comma here. We have a subject. We have would. And then we've got another verb. This verb, though, this verb is going to be regular present tense. We don't do past here. Okay, so, and, you know, I forgot to actually put the most important thing here is if. If goes here. If, subject, past tense verb, then subject again, then would and regular verb. So let's look at a couple of sentences right here. All right, this sentence says, if I won the lottery, I would buy an island. If I won the lottery, I would buy an island. So, you know, to win the lottery, that would be great. I think if you won the lottery, you would be very happy. It would be great. But it's very unlikely. It has a very low chance, low probability. So because this is unlikely, it's kind of impossible, then we use second conditional. So my past tense verb, if you notice, past tense verb is won. If I won the lottery. Next, I would use would on the second part. So I've got would here and regular verb, buy. I don't say bought here. Okay. Now let's look at another example. If I were a bird, I would fly around the world. If I were a bird, I would fly around the world. Now, this is important. So I've got a little note. I got a little note here. Be verb. Be verb is very important. You know, when we are making a conditional sentence, if sentence, we always use were. Always, always, always. So that means please do not use was. Do not use was. Please use were only. All right, that is decided. It's a rule. Don't wonder why. It's completely decided. Just remember that in an if sentence, you always use were and not was. Now, last thing we should also look at is the order of the sentence. In the original sentence, I started with if at the beginning. If plus past, then would. But if you want, you can change the order. You can start with the second clause first. So I would buy an island if I won the lottery. It's the same meaning. It's your choice if you want to put if at the beginning or in the middle. Now, in today's lesson, also, we are going to focus on would. But would is not the only verb that you can use in this grammar. So if we look other verbs that we can use, so you can use could, should, might, and may plus a verb. That's also okay. But for today's lesson, let's just focus on using would because it'll be easier for you to understand and get used to it. When you are comfortable, then you can start adding, you can change it to could, should, might, or may. Now, if you're wondering how does this type of sentence look, then, if let's say, if I travel to the moon, I could, what could I say? I could jump without gravity. Okay, so if I travel to the moon, I could jump without gravity. So here I'm using could. Could means it's possible. I can do that. Okay. But in today's lesson, we will focus on would. Would. All right, so we've got our main pattern right here. Okay, so make sure you've got if, subject, and past verb, then subject, and then would and verb. Okay, so make sure you remember that pattern. And just so everybody remembers it, I will make a banner of this, and I'll put it onto the screen, including if as well. All right, so that will be your pattern that you use. I'll keep that on the screen for now. And let's move to our very first exercise. That's all the grammar we're going to cover today. Just how we make the sentence and when we make it. We make it for not real situations. So let's look at the very first exercise. It says, please complete the sentences. Please complete the sentences. Now, all of the exercises in this section will begin with if. So remember, if we look at our banner on the screen, it's if, subject. Okay, so I've given you the subject. Now we need a past tense verb, then a subject, would, and verb. Okay, so I want you to choose the verbs for this exercise. So I will do number one with you. So it says, if I something closer to the beach, I would something surfing every weekend. So I need to have a past verb here, and I need to have just a regular verb here. So I need to have a past verb at the beginning, regular verb at the end. So if I something closer to the beach, I would something surfing every weekend. So for me, if I lived closer to the beach, I would go surfing every weekend. If I lived closer to the beach, I would go surfing every weekend. All right, so I did the first one for you. The next ones, I want you to do it. So let's look here. Number two. This actually shouldn't be here. Had is incorrect. And had is not the answer, so don't worry. All right. So remember, just so everybody gets used to this, if plus the subject, I'm going to have a past verb here and then a regular verb here. Past verb and regular verb. So what would your answers be here? So if I something harder, I something the exam with flying colors. What do you think the answer to this is? And if you have the answer, just put your answer in the comments section and I will check. Okay, so let's see here. Harder, we've got exams. We've got a unique word here, flying colors. Flying colors. Now, I'll go over that later. So for me, the answer for this would be if I studied harder, I would pass the exam with flying colors. If you pass something, if you pass an exam with flying colors, right? This phrase, it means you pass easily. Okay, so you easily pass the test. It's no problem. It means you did very, very well on this test. All right, let's look at number 3. Number 3. All right, so remember, I'll leave the answers for number 2 on the screen there. And I've got number 3 there for you. All right, so we've got our if sentence. Remember, this is conditional number 2. So you're going to use a past verb and a regular verb. Past verb will go in with the if statement. And the second clause will have a regular verb. All right, so number 3, what is your answer here? If I something a better memory, I would never something important dates. No worries, Joe. No worries, no worries. It's okay. So if I something a better memory, I would something never important dates. What would your answer for this be? If I something a better memory, I would never something important dates. So here we're talking about, obviously your memory, the ability to remember something. So whenever you're talking about memory, anytime you're talking about memory, the verb that we are going to use is going to be the have verb. The have verb. So you can say, I have a good memory. I have a bad memory. All right. So have is the verb we always use with memory. All right. So if we look at that, that means have is the verb we have to use. So we need to make it in the past tense. What's the past tense of have? All right. The past tense of have is going to be had. Have is had. So number 3, the first answer would be if I had a better memory, I would never something important dates. I would never something important dates. Manuel, hey, how's it going, Manuel? How is it going? Good to see you. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. How are you? Good to see you again. So Jero, if I had a better memory, I would never forget important dates. Perfect. Right. So the answers here would be if I had a better memory, then I would never forget important dates. Do you have a good memory, Jero? That's good. I'm glad you're doing well, Manuel. All right. Let's look at number 4. Number 4 here. We've got if I something a different career path, I might something happier now. This is kind of a tough one. Career path. The word career path. It means that it's the career, the job that you have chosen. So whenever we decide that we are going to begin working and we're going to join sort of the real world, then in that situation, the path we choose, that's the career we choose. And some people are happy with the path, some people are not happy. Okay, so I gave you the answer as I was speaking there. I hope you were listening carefully. Manuel says, if I had a different career path, I might be happier. That works. That is one possible answer. B for sure. Be happier. I think in this situation, we can only put be here. Because we have an adjective, whenever we have an adjective, we have to use the be verb. And so you chose had here, if I had a different career path. That works. I like that. Sure, you forget everything. You don't know why. I used to lose where I put my money, my phone. Yeah, losing money is terrible. I've done that before, but I'm pretty good at remembering. My phone is always right here. I've always got it with me. But usually I forget. Honestly, what I forget the most are names. I remember faces. I can remember everybody's face. I can see someone one time and I'll remember. But names, I often forget. Does anybody have a different verb they would use instead of had? Had is definitely a good choice. I actually have a different verb that I would use. So for me, what I would choose here is that verb right now. Chose. Right? So you can choose either one. If I chose a different career path, I might be happier now. If I chose a different career path, I might be happier now. If I got a different career path, I might be happier now. It's okay. I think had and chose are probably better, but you could do it. Sometimes you get the path. Yeah, that might work. A lot of times with career path, whenever you're talking about a path, whether it's career or hiking, we choose the path that we will take. You could even say took here. If I took a different path, I might be happier. So took would be another verb we could use. All right, good job. I like it. Let's look at number 5. If I something more adventurous, I would something exotic foods without hesitation. If I something more adventurous, I would something exotic foods without hesitation. What would be your answer here? Now I'll give you a hint. The hint here is the word adventurous. Adventurous. All right, so Manuel, you've got, if I have been more adventurous, I would make exotic foods without hesitation. Make, I think, is perfect. And I think you're on the right path with have been, but we don't need the have. We will just use the past tense of be. Just the past tense of be. So instead of have been, if I were more adventurous, I would, and then you put make. Make, yeah, that works. That works. Is there, what else is another word? Instead of make, you could use another verb, different meaning. Here, you're going to be cooking. For me, I might say, instead of make, I might say try. Try. If I were more adventurous, I would try exotic foods without hesitation. What about you guys here? Are you guys adventurous? Do you try exotic foods? And exotic food just means any food that's not from your culture. You know, any food that's outside of your culture, your country. Myself, I love trying exotic food. I think I've tried food from a lot of different countries. Question, hesitation. Good question. What is hesitation? Hesitation, what this means, hesitation here is a noun, right? So let's put the verb. The verb is going to be to hesitate. Okay. Now, hesitate, it means, or hesitation means that you don't do something right away. You stop. Maybe you think about it. You're like, oh, should I do it? I don't know. Do I want to try this? Doesn't look very good. Oh, what should I do? What should I do? So you kind of think too much. You're not going to just jump and do it. You know, and it's not only for trying food. It can be in anything. Now, let's say we're talking about food. Let's imagine I'm eating pizza, and I'm eating pizza with friends, and there's one slice left. I want to eat that slice. I'm hungry. I want to eat it. But I start thinking, oh, well, maybe my friend wants it. Should I eat it? I don't know. If I eat it, will my friend be angry? Or I don't know. And then as I'm thinking, my friend takes the pizza and eats it. So I hesitated and I lost the pizza. Okay. And it's in anything, not only food, sports. Often players will hesitate. They should do an action right away, but they think too much and then the timing is gone. All right. So a lot of people, exotic food, they hesitate. I'm pretty good with exotic food. I think I'll try everything. I'll try everything at least once. So, what's the most exotic food you've eaten? The most exotic food you've eaten. I think for me, I was going to say crocodile. I've eaten crocodile. But I think even more exotic, I've eaten whale. Whale, like whale sushi, like raw whale. That was interesting. I wasn't a big fan. All right, so if you've tried something exotic, let me know in the comment section. In the meantime, let's look at number 6. Number 6 says, if I something in Bitcoin earlier, I would something wealthier now. And of course, Bitcoin is the kind of like money that doesn't, you can't actually touch it. Keyword here is in. In is the key word here. If I something in Bitcoin earlier, I would something wealthier now. So Manuel, the most exotic food that you ate was crab. Okay, nice. I remember. Did you like it? Did you like it? I remember the first time I had my first piece of crab. Yeah, I like crab. It's very popular here in Japan. In fact, all seafood is very popular here. All right, so what we have here in this number 6, if I something in Bitcoin earlier, if I something in Bitcoin earlier, I would something now. Wealthier. Okay, this one's easy. As I've said before, whenever you have an adjective, you always have to use the be verb. So, since this is in the second part of the statement, we know be goes here. Now, because I've got this in is the key word. In is the key word. So my answer over here, and Manuel, excellent. You put it in there. Just make sure your first one is in the past tense. The verb you chose was perfect. The verb you chose was perfect. So if I invested in Bitcoin earlier, I would be wealthier now. So you didn't like crab. You thought the flavor was weird. Yeah, you know what? I remember when I ate kind of shellfish for the first time, I thought the same thing. I thought it was strange as well. It grew on me. And you know, Manuel, I never ate shellfish or any like seafood until very, very, very late. When I was a child, junior high school, university, never ate any of it. My family, my mom and dad were vegetarian. So yeah, we didn't have any seafood or things like that in my house. No, I think food in Colombia is awesome. I love Colombian food. I think it's really good. I like, honestly, I like all sort of Latin American, even sort of Central American food. Well, North America as well. I mean, I love American food, but you know, anywhere from like Mexican food down to Jamaican, Colombian, Brazilian, Peruvian food, I love. Joe, for you, it's jalebi, Indian food. So Jalebi, are you talking, Jiro, about like the kind of like pretzel looking, like really sweet dessert? Is that what you're talking about, Jiro? If so, I've eaten that before too. Did you like it, jalebi? It's a very if we're talking about the same thing, it's a very traditional Indian sweet. It's like deep fried. I don't know what it is. It's like, kind of like a deep fried churros, but then it's soaked in like a really sweet syrup. And so you feel like cooking Indian food. That's amazing, Jiro. Can you cook Indian food? I love Indian. My mom is from India, so I grew up eating Indian food. All right. As I wait for some of the answers here, uh, if jalebi is the same thing, let's look at number 7. If I something less shy, I would something more friends easily. If I something less shy, I would something more easily. A lot of these are following a very similar pattern. You know, I'm using a lot of adjectives today. That's one thing I kind of want from today's lesson is, I want everybody to remember that if you use an adjective, and not just today's lesson, but any adjective, the verb that you are mainly going to use is the be verb, right? And then in today's lesson, because it's an if sentence, the be verb must be were. We can never use was. So it's always were. So shy is an adjective. So we must use the be verb. So my answer here would be if I were less shy. Now the second part is where you have to think. What's the verb I'm going to be using here? Something more friends easily. Something more friends easily. All right, so what would your answer be here? So Manuel, I would get more friends easily. Perfect. And then, yeah, I would meet more friends easily. Perfect. Yeah, so, okay, Jero, it is a sweet snack. Yeah, it kind of has that like circular kind of pretzel-like shape. Did you like it? I actually don't like that. I don't like that dessert. I don't know why I don't like that. The one Indian dessert that I like is gonna be that. It's called, I'll put it onto the screen, besan. That's me. It's almost like a little square, little, like it's not chocolate, but that shape is like a chocolate. Well, Jero, if you want to cook Indian food, let me know. I can give you some good recipes. My mom has taught me a lot. So, Manuel, I like the verbs you chose, get and meet. So I'm going to put those onto the screen so for people can see. If I were less shy, I would get more friends easily. I would meet more friends easily, you said. The other verb I would use here is going to be make. Make. All right, so we've got all of those verbs we could use. I would make more friends. I would meet more friends. I would get more friends. Okay. We would never say have. Don't say have more friends because we've got easily. It's an adverb. So these are the only 3. Okay, so let's see here. One second. Let me move this up. Number 8, we're going to look at, but I do see a comment here from Manuel. Do you know lechona? It's a local food here. Is it like a pork dish, like a pig dish? Manuel? I've never eaten it, but I think I've seen that. Like, I think I've seen that on TV. Like, is it, well, maybe I'm wrong. Is it a pork dish? Okay, yeah, I've seen it. I'm a huge, like, I love food, right? So when I used to live in the States, it was really interesting. My 2 sort of hobbies, it's food and sports. I love sports. I love food. So when I was living in the States, all I would do every day, I would come home from work, and the 2 shows I would watch would be ESPN, which is like sports highlights and sports news, and the cooking channel, like the Food Network channel, just watching people cook. I've never tried. Is it good, Manuel? Looks amazing. It's like you put something in it, right? It's like something, it's stuffed maybe? Or is it a whole pig? Or is it stuffed pork? I'm not sure. I don't really remember. It is good. Oh, I'm not sorry. You haven't answered it. But yeah, let me know if it's good. I'd like to try it. And if is it easy to make? Okay, you like it a lot. Nice. Nice. Okay, I got to try it. Do you know how to make it, Manuel? If you know how to make it, we might need to do like a collaboration YouTube lesson / cooking lesson video together. It's not very easy to make. It's difficult. Okay. You don't. Okay. Well, I will research it. Let's research it together, Manuel. You research it as well. I'll research it. Let's see if we can figure out how to make it. I love the emojis you have. I don't know where everybody gets these emojis. Maybe it's because I'm not as tech savvy as all of you guys. Let's look here. That's the word tech savvy. Tech savvy means that you are really good with technology. You're really good with like IT and tech and smartphones and everything, all of that. So if I something more tech savvy, I would something my own website. All right, so Juro, if I got more tech savvy, I would have my own website. Okay, that works. If I got more tech savvy, yeah. Got here means become. If I, became more tech savvy, I would have my own website. Good. Here again, tech savvy is an adjective. So Manuel, your answer, if I were more tech savvy, is perfect. I would like to create my own website. Perfect. Yeah, that works. Many possible answers here. I think were here is the easiest one because tech savvy is an adjective. And then websites, we can build them. We build a website. But have is perfect. Create is perfect. Okay, excellent. Well done. Let's look at number 9. Number 9 is the last one for this section, and then we'll go into a little bit more fun exercise. So here it says, if I something invisible I would something, something, something. So number 9 is I'm giving you the least amount of information. This is your chance to be creative. All right, so here, invisible. By the way, invisible means, people can't see you. It means like your whole body is clear, like nobody can see you. You are alive, you exist, but you are see-through. You know what I was trying to think? You know what I like, Manuel? The Colombian food that I have eaten. I have eaten a lot of Colombian food in New York. Two things I really liked. One was again, my pronunciation is terrible. What is like that? Repas, like the kind of like the stuffed pastry. And the other one was I love Colombian empanadas because they are using corn flour. Like empanadas in other parts of South America use regular flours, but I like the corn flour. Manuel, your answer, if I were, not be, but if I were invisible, I would go to the cinema free. Okay, so we're going to say here, you're almost right. If I were invisible, that's we have to choose as were. Invisible, again, is an adjective. So if I were invisible, I would go to the cinema for free. I'd go to cinema for free. Yeah, they're delicious. Yeah, I really like those. I really like those. We have, I think a lot of cultures have very similar foods where you have some type of pastry or some type of stuffed kind of like pie. Growing up I was born in Canada, but my mom was from India, so they have samosa, which is similar thing. It's stuffed with like spicy potatoes. If I were invisible, I would go to women's locker. Oh no. Oh no, that's not good. That's not good. Yeah, I don't know. What would I do if I were invisible? If I were invisible, well, that would actually kind of not be kind of fun. It would suck, actually. You have rob a bank. Manuel, if you went to the cinema, what would you watch? Like, what movie do you want to watch right now? So, Jero, if I were invisible, I would go to satellites. So, are you talking like in space? The satellites way up in space? So let me know what you're saying, Jero. Yeah, this is just a silly one. If you were invisible, what would you do? Yeah, I think it would depend. If I were invisible, I would satellites. Satellite is if you look up in the sky and at nighttime, you can see stars, but you can also see different man-made machines that are up in the sky. And usually our telephone networks will connect to the satellites. That's why we can use smartphones and we can talk with everyone. So it's a satellite often kind of looks like, looks like these little things in the space. Very, very bad drawing. Okay. You'd watch all the anime movies. Okay. So are you a big anime fan? Recently, the Oscar awards were just like yesterday or 2 days ago, and I think a Japanese anime won the best animation or something like that. All right, good answers. Okay, let's go to the last part of this lesson. What is it? Poyo Niku 2, right? Is that what your name is? Poyo Niku 2? Does okay, satellites, you got it. Okay, perfect. I'm glad you got it. All right, next. The next section is what would you do? What would you do? So I'm going to ask you a question. This is a hypothetical question. These questions are not real. That's why we use conditional to. So remember, when you answer this question, the grammar you use is this. If, subject, past verb, subject, would, and then a verb. My first question I'm asking all of you is, what would you do if you won the lottery tomorrow? What would you do if you won the lottery tomorrow? Okay, so there you go. Jiro, I like that. So yeah, I can say I would make a machine and go to the satellites. Okay, perfect. So you try to watch many movies series, but you want to spend more of my time on these things. Yeah, I think a lot of the animes. I think Netflix, Disney, Hulu, Amazon. Yeah, we spend a lot of time on those things. So yeah, that's probably a good choice. I spend too much time on Netflix. All right. So what would you do if you won the lottery tomorrow? All right. And we're not talking like I don't know what the lottery is like in your country. I live in Japan right now, and the lottery here is not very big. You'll probably get $6 million or something, which is great. That's a lot of money. But like if you look in the US, the US lottery is like 200 million, 300 million, $500 million. So let's go normal. Let's say it's like 20 million. $20 million, $30 million. What would you do if you won that much money tomorrow? What would you do? $20 million. That's what you win. You won that tomorrow. What would you do? For me, $20 million, what would I do? See, it's not enough to buy an island. 20 million is not enough to buy an island, but I would probably buy some real estate, some houses. I have a house here, so I'd probably buy one like somewhere warm and exotic. Maybe somewhere, I don't know, Hawaii, maybe. Buy a house in Hawaii. LA for sure. I loved my time in LA, so I would buy a house there. So what would you do if you won the lottery? So for me, if I made this sentence, if we're thinking English and we're thinking grammar, if I won the lottery, I would buy a house in Hawaii first. And there's probably many, many things you can do. That would be my first action. I think that if I won the lottery, I finished to tattoo my body and travel and know new cities and cultures. Okay, so I would finish. I would. Don't forget the would in that sentence, Manuel. So I think that if I at the beginning of your sentence is amazing, Manuel. I think that that is a great sentence. I think that if I won the lottery, I would finish to tattoo. I would finish to tattoo my body and travel and know new cities and cultures. Yeah, just put would in there as well. Manuel, where's your tattoo? And how much do you want a tattoo? And second question, what city would you go to first? What city would you go to first? Or city or country? What about Ishiro? What would you do if you won the lottery? Or what is it? Poyuniku. Poyuniku, what would you do if you won the lottery? If I won the lottery, I would buy a house in Hawaii first. After that, I would, there's so many things I would do. So you have a tattoo on both legs. So on both legs, one arm, and your full back. Wow, that's a lot. That's great. That's great. Yeah, if you want to finish your tattoo, Manuel, you have to get at least one here in Japan. The tattoo art here is amazing. You'd go to Japan. Okay, perfect, Manuel. Poyoniku, if I won the lottery, I would go travel abroad. Where would you go? Where would you go? What would be the first country you would go to? And first in that country, what would be the first city you would go to? I think everybody, like all of us, we want to kind of travel. Coney, okay, first I'd pay all my college tuition. After that, I'd buy 3 houses for my mom, sister, and I, somewhere warm too. Yes, nice. Wow, so nice. So nice. You'd buy a house for everyone in your family. That's great. That's great. I think I would probably my family, they all have houses. I'd probably just give them money. Make sure here, Coney, one thing I would say, first I'd pay off. Whenever we're talking about college tuition or loans, these types of things, the verb we're always going to be using is you pay off. You pay off a loan, pay off college tuition. So you'd pay off your college tuition. After that, don't forget that, I'd buy 3 houses for my mom, sister, and me. Not I, but me, you would say. Summer warm too. Yeah, summer warm is definitely important. So you'd Poyoniku, you'd go to New York. Great city. Great city. I've been there many times. I used to live there for a little while. Great place. All right, next one's a little bit more deep, a little bit more complicated. When and what would you do? So what would you do if you could travel back in time to any period in history? What would you do if you could travel back in time to any period in history? And when would you go first? What is the era? Yeah, Coney is super kind, super nice. And number 3 is on the screen as well. So if you don't want to answer number 2, and you want to do number 3 instead, that's fine. Number 3 says, what would you do if you found a wallet with a large sum of money inside? A large sum of money equals a lot of money. All right, so you can either do 2 or 3 or both as well. What would you do if you could travel back in time to any period in history? When would you go? What would you do? So, Manuel, if I could travel back, I would like to go to the Roma civilization. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. Yeah, me too. That would be really cool. I think I would like to be invisible too, because I wouldn't want to die. Maybe I'd go back to when the dinosaurs were roaming the earth. All right, I'll put that sentence on there. I would go back to when the dinosaurs were roaming the earth. All right, and then also, number 3, what would you do if you found a lot of money? You found a wallet, it's got a lot of money inside, it's a large sum of money, thousands of dollars in this wallet. So Jero, I would go not in France. It would be I would go to France. I would go to France. Now, is this Jero answer for number 2 or number 3? Because it works for both. You found all the money, you could travel to France. If I found the wallet, I would pull out the money. Don't forget the. I would pull out the money and throw away the wallet. That's, yeah, smart. You have to throw away the wallet. Make sure you wipe the wallet too. Manuel, have a great night. Have a great day. Thanks for joining. Yeah, so if I found the wallet, I would pull out the money, and throw away the wallet. Perfect answer, Poiniki. Perfect answer. Perfect answer. Which is very surprising because your name, it's in Japanese, in hiragana. And in Japan, everybody is so like, take the wallet to the police. I would do the same. Poiniki. I would take the money and then go to France. So thank you. To France is number 2. Okay, so what era would you go, Jero? When would you go to France? You can go anytime in the past. When would you go to France? Like, would it be during like the French Revolution? Would it be during Marie Antoinette's time? Good. I like this, show. It depends on the way and where I find the money. That is very important. Yeah, that's a good comment. Okay, so Jero, let's say What would you do if you found a wallet with a large sum of money inside the wallet and you found it while you were hiking with nobody around? I would take it. I would take the money. But yeah, there would have to be nobody around. All right. While you guys do that, let's move this up. Number 4. What would you do if you could switch lives with someone for a day? Who would you switch with? What would you do if you could switch lives with someone for a day? And who would you switch with? And anybody who's watching this on the replay, like if you couldn't join the live, do number 4 for homework. Do number 4 for homework and leave it in the comment section. Everybody here, you can answer this now. We'll do number 4 will be our last one for today. What would you do if you could switch lives with someone for a day? Who would you switch with? I would probably, myself, right now, I would probably switch lives with like the president of the US. And I would like to see all of the power he has. And maybe I would look at some classified information. Sure, I would take it too. Yeah. Yeah, I think if there's no one around, I think most of us would probably take it. That's the last one is number 4. What would you do if you could switch lives with someone for a day? Who would you switch with? So my answer was the president of the US. Then I would look at all the classified information, find all the secrets. All right, so let's see. Do we have any answers? Okay, if you don't have any answers, that's fine. If you need time to think, you can always add it later. If you want to do it for homework as well, that's fine as well. Also, if anybody here, unique, I would switch. I would switch with a tuna, not if I switch tuna. I would switch with a tuna. So I could swim comfortably. All right, that's all right. You'd switch with a tuna. That's interesting. This hopefully you don't get caught. Tuna is super popular sushi. Nice, I like it. So your sentence, if I switched, and then we need to put with, switched with a tuna, I would swim comfortably. Or if you're answering number 4, I would switch with a tuna. I would switch with a tuna. Hey, Caleb, how's it going? All right. Also, so if you have an answer for number 4, switch means that you're going to change. Like you change bodies, by the way. So I become that person, they become me. What would you do if you could switch lives with someone for a day? Who would you switch with? I'm good, Caleb. Thank you. I'm good. Thank you very much. I hope you're doing well as well. Also, now, if anybody has any questions about today's lesson, we did, conditional sentences, which are basically this grammar structure. If, subject, past tense, verb, subject, would, and verb. We're talking about imagination, imaginary things that are not real, things that are very unlikely. So if I were a bird, I would fly. So if you have any questions about this or any English question is fine. If you have an English question, let me know and I'll answer those questions the best of my ability. And if not, then we'll probably call it a day. And most likely my next live will be, I might try to do a live tomorrow. But Saturday morning for sure, I will be doing a live on Saturday. So please join me then if you have time. I'll try to do one tomorrow. I will let you guys know my live schedule this week. I'll put it onto my community site tomorrow. So I'll try to do one tomorrow. We'll see how my schedule is. Saturday for sure, I will be doing one. All right. So if there are no questions, then I think I'll wrap things up. Anybody who wants a copy of this PDF of this lesson, just let me know. I can send it to you. You can DM me my info, my email address. You'll find it on my YouTube channel. Just go to the About section and you'll see my email there. And I can email you the PDF of this. All right. Otherwise, it was great to see everyone again. I hope everyone's doing well. Jero, Manuel, I know you've already left, but it was good to see you again. Caleb, I'm glad you were able to pop in at the end here. Good to see you. Poyoniku, loved your comments. They're awesome. They made me laugh. Coney, very, very nice. Coney, you got an answer here for me. If I switched life with a journalist, I would learn to write books. Wow, that's great. Coney, do you want to be able to write? Do you want to be able to write books? Are you interested in writing? Yeah, sure, it was good. I'm always glad to see you. I know you're on the East Coast, but I know you're from Haiti. So it's one of my dreams to go there. So it's always good to talk with you. Coney, you want to be a writer? That's great. I think writing is great. I love writing. I'm not good at writing like fiction. I'm good at writing papers that are like academic papers. Poyoniku, thank you, man. Thank you. I really appreciate you joining me. You brought a lot of life and humor. Great answers, by the way, as well. Good job. Thank you. You would switch with Elon Musk. I thought about that too, Caleb. I would switch with Elon Musk as well. probably for me is not because I care about his life, but maybe he would probably like make my life, like when he became me, maybe he could make me rich. All right, good answer, Caleb. But yeah, it was great to see everyone today. Yes, again, remember, maybe tomorrow. I haven't decided yet, depending on my schedule. Saturday as well. I'll be a Saturday morning. Check it out. I'll be there doing live. I am in Haitian. Yes, I know, Jero. See you, buddy. Thank you, everybody, for joining today. It's midnight here in Japan, so I'm going to call it a night and head off to bed. Thank you, everybody. Coney, thank you very much. It was good to meet you. Coney, right? I hope I'm saying it right. If I mispronounce your name, I'm sorry. But great job. Thank you so much. See you guys all in the next live. See ya.